a link into the box for you guys. As per usual, I will put the link into the box. Hope everybody's doing well. Good morning, Old Head Deuce. Shout out to you. So yeah, we're just, just dealing with a little bit from the top, from the top of the agenda a little bit today. And I'll tell you more about that as we open up here. So shout out to everybody that's in the chat so far. We have Snapzilla, Gorilla, Eric, Chanot, Chrysler, Imperial H, Old Head Deuce so far. And how are you doing, Old Head Deuce? Let's see. Let me get my little restore some things here. These got shuffled around a little bit in the formatting, but it's okay. We'll
handle the reopening. Joining me right now is the boss, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio. Mr. Mayor, it's great to have you this morning. Thanks very much for being here. I want to ask you that question right here. How will a reopening of New York look? What industries are poised to open first, and when do you see that happening?
Thank you, Maria. Well, first of all, Maria, you are a proud New Yorker, proud Brooklynite by background. You know how tough and resilient this city is. So the first thing I want to say is we will be back. We will be strong. In fact, we will be stronger. And we're going to create a city that builds on our previous success and comes back stronger and fairer. I believe we can do this. And I already see the naysayers out there saying, oh, New York City's not going to be able to come back. New York City fought back after the fiscal crisis. We fought back after 9/11. We fought back after Hurricane Sandy. We will fight back again. What we need
So how do you do it?
Yeah, what we need, there's no question in my mind. We must have the support of the federal government to do this, because right now, to be able to have a strong economy again and really restart, we have to be able to provide the basic services that have made this place work. Police, fire, sanitation, healthcare, education, the things that have made New York City strong and allowed us to get through this crisis are now in the crosshairs because we've lost $7.4 billion. That's our projection from our budget. $7.4 billion in lost revenue, $3.5 billion in new expenses to pay for the coronavirus and the fight to save lives, over $10 billion combined. The federal government must make us whole for us to be able to be in a position to restart. If we're not whole, if New York City is not whole, it will drag down the entire region, and it will hold up the entire national economic restart. If we are whole,
so how much money do you want,
Maria,
Mr. Mayor? How much money do you need from the federal government?
All the money that's been lost and will be lost revenue, and this is true for New York and cities and states around the country. We need $7.4 billion. That's how much we've lost. That's how much we need to get back. Just like the federal government bailed out the airline industry, the tune of $58 billion, bail out the largest city in the country so we can restart and be able to be strong leaders in an economic revitalization in this country. If we get that,
let me ask you this: Are you using this crisis to take us into socialism? I just saw you on the press conference. You said this: the bigger picture of fair recovery for all, confront structural, economic, and racial inequalities. Are you looking to change things that have nothing to do with the coronavirus, and we're not impacted by that, Mr. Mayor?
Maria, I'm looking to go at the very things that the coronavirus crisis has dredged up, and we've seen it all over the country. There are vast healthcare disparities that have come up that must be addressed for the good of all of us. It's the right thing to do, but also to have a strong, healthy society. But Maria, what I'm talking about in the first instance, when we talk about just getting on our feet again, I think we all can count here. If we're missing $7.4 billion, and now we heard today there may be additional state budget cuts looming on top of that will hit New York City and the whole rest of the state, we won't be able to provide the basic services and have the personnel we need who do that amazing work. You know, we're talking about the heroes, the first responders, the healthcare workers, the essential workers. These are the folks who need to keep their jobs going forward if we're going to have a healthy recovery. And if we are missing billions and billions of dollars, how on earth are we supposed to do that?
Mr. Mayor, honestly, I need an hour with you. There's so many important things to cover in New York. You made a very good case just there. You said that the city needs to be made whole. Number one, how are the conversations going with President Trump? Are you going to get that money? And number two, Mr. Mayor, something that you know I've been railing about the inmates being let out. Now coronavirus is ripping through our prison systems, and now you're letting inmates out. The New York Post with a headline, dozens of New York City inmates back in jail after coronavirus relief. You're letting them out. They're committing crimes and going right back in. Even before this, between January and March, on the heels of your bail reform law, car thefts up 65%. Robberies up 24%, burglaries up 22%. We know you have your hands full, Mayor. What are you going to do about it?
Well, I'll come to your question about the president in a moment, Maria, real quick. There was a bail reform law passed by the state of New York, not the city, the state of New York. There were some things I thought needed to be better. In fact, a lot of us agreed, Governor Cuomo and I and many others agreed there needed to be changes. And the state legislature did make important changes a few weeks ago, and I think it's going to help us fight crime. But remember, the NYPD has done a remarkable job. Crime in New York City today, the last time it was this low was the 1950s. So we've had some challenges the last few months, but overall crime continues to go down in New York City. NYPD's done an amazing job. In terms of the folks who were in our jail system, we let 1,400 out who either had very low level offenses or had an immediate health danger because of the coronavirus. They're being monitored when the jails are able to, and the court system gets back
Uh-oh, sorry. It's almost to
up
the
and
end,
running.
guys.
We'll bring back anyone who needs to be brought back. Some have done the wrong thing and they'll pay the consequences.
It'll
The
make
vast
it not too
majority haven't,
painful.
but it was about protecting lives of correction officers and inmates in a humanitarian crisis. President Trump and I have spoken several times about the stimulus. Look, I've given President Trump credit when he's helped New York City, and sometimes he and his team have done a great job at that. You and I, Maria, have talked about Peter Navarro and the effort to get us supplies and equipment that's been deeply, deeply appreciated. I thank the president for that. Where I've been in disagreement with him is he has still not spoken up for the stimulus to help cities and states, and he needs to speak up with energy to move the Senate. He understands the economy. He understands New York City. If we can't pay for basic services, we won't have a strong economy. We need to hear the president's voice. We're not hearing it so far.
Mr. Mayor, I want you to come back to talk about what New York City and New York will look like when we get out of this. I want to know what the subways are going to look like. Are they going to be different? I want to know in terms of getting back to work. Will you come back soon so we can talk about that? Because we haven't covered enough. Mr. Mayor, it's great to have you today. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this segment of Black Spring. And shout out to anybody else that's come in. Old Head Deuce. She could have asked way better questions. Yeah, I can see there's a few things that she, she basically let him talk. That was pretty, she started out, but then, it kind of just became a little bit more, he kind of, got what he wanted to say out, a little bit more open-ended, I guess, before it was over with. And yeah, pretty open-ended on that. Not exactly hardball questions. Let's see. What else do we have? Okay. So I have put the link into the description box for anybody that wants to tag into the actual stream on the broadcast end here. But I don't know. First things first. It's interesting that New York had the of course they were impacted greatly with this whole crowd disease. But then they also, he's saying that he wants, the first question that she asked, she says, well, how much money do you want? And he says, well, we're going to be at a loss of $7.4 billion. We're going to have, of course, a $7.4 billion deficit. And they're asking for a bailout, government bailout. And then she keeps going, she expands on it, and she says, and then he expands on it in his response and says, well, we're asking for that $7.4 billion deficit plus the crowd disease portion that adds another $3.5 billion, and for all that we've lost, and then all that will come up. So I'm asking you guys, is that possible? Just, what his request is. If that's actually his request, I need everything that I'm missing, and I need everything that I've lost, and I need everything that I will lose. Well, what exactly does that mean? It's more, that's beyond a bailout, right? You're looking for a subsidized government subsidy, like a full-time hands-on state. You basically want a federal takeover, yeah, and it's funny, and you can go to another level. It's funny, when he talks about these heroes, he doesn't exactly support his first responders, because I've heard him cut down, and I've heard him be notorious for not supporting his first responders when it comes to whether it's, police. When, I think you guys, I don't know if you saw last year where, of course, if, law enforcement's out, they were having buckets of water doused on them. And of course, that caused, of course, it's ruining uniforms, ruining equipment, radios, and that kind of a bit. And many of them have been, I think, reluctant to act as law enforcement, because they're going to be this guy will throw them under the bus. That's de Blasio. So he hasn't even, I think even the constituents, they don't think that he's done a, a decent job running the city prior to this. And the only question that she did ask, she basically said, are you going to use this crowd disease crisis to advocate for, inequities or disparities and this and that for all and da 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 da. So there you go. You got your whole socialist on the way to, socialist on the fast track to communist style of government, declaring what's basic rights and what's going to put everybody on the same, what's going to put everybody on the same level or the same opportunity. Which is more, here again, we got UN Agenda 21. It's a localized, it's not that, just the UN were asking, of course, nation states, they're asking for they want an entire scope of cooperation. They're asking for local authorities, local governments to comply with their agenda. And that's generally, what we're talking about here. So that was one. And then of course you have Governor Cuomo. He basically he's had some of the same types of interviews or press conferences. Same types. And then the other section of it was the whole jail release, that they've had. And he says, we released about 1,400. And when we get back up and running, for those people that are out there doing things that they shouldn't be doing, we'll bring them back. We'll bring people back who need to be brought back once we get things up and running. And I'm just thinking, I mean, for the people that live in New York, do we have anybody here that's from New York? I mean, I'd love to get somebody that actually lives in New York and what do they have to say about the current status of their city or the leadership or the municipalities, like how things are being run there prior to this. In fact, I believe, he was rumored, de Blasio, many of them basically have fought Trump for 3.5 years. And when this came on, they basically ignored him. The Chinatown quote with Pelosi basically telling people to come on down to Chinatown. And I just, the hypocrisy is so thick. It's just, it's thick. So let's see, just 1 second here. So I'll bring you that one just a second. Career politicians, right? That's why you love them, right? So give me 1 second. Give me 2 shakes here. I'll bring you that clip.
When people ask,
Just 1 second. Thank you guys for joining me on this segment. Appreciate it. So I'll have that for you just a second. Let's get you through these wonderful commercials. And I'll have that segment here. This is actually from, I believe this is Fox that's doing this with Pelosi and what her response to, this was last Sunday perhaps.
Democrats and the White House try to strike a deal to provide more money for a program meant to help small businesses shut down by the coronavirus. Earlier, I talked with the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, about that and more. Speaker Pelosi, good to talk to you again. The $350 billion fund to provide loans to small businesses has run out. President Trump says you and other Democrats are blocking a deal to provide another $250 billion. Here he is on that.
Nancy Pelosi, she's away on vacation or something, and she should come back. She should come back and get this done. I don't know why she's not coming back. The fact is, she's not doing her job.
The president says he now supports your call for more money for hospitals, but you're also calling for more money for first responders, for food assistance, for states and local governments. How long are you prepared to hold out, Speaker?
Well, I think we're on a very good path. First of all, I support the CARES Act. We were very pleased to be able to turn it from a corporate trickle-down bill to a workers' first bubble up, and support the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program in there. And so as they have committed the money that is there, we want to add more money there. It is very urgent, though, that we support our police and fire, our healthcare workers, our nurses, our teachers. And that's what the state and local government is about, is meeting the needs of the coronavirus. And everything that we're doing is about the coronavirus. Understand that. We're not going afield in any other thing. And also to make sure that everyone has access to the program. I'm very pleased at the progress that is being made. We've worked in a very bipartisan way all along. We continue to do so. We all pay tribute to our small businesses, which are the optimism, the entrepreneurial spirit of America. And
Get it out.
There be any doubt that if they are participating in the program, that they will be funded, and if they meet the standards of the program, that those loans will be forgiven.
So is there going to be a deal? And if so, how soon? You know, there are a lot of small businesses that are running out of money and are hanging on by their fingernails.
Yes, and we want all of them to get what they're entitled to under the law, and even more than some of these small businesses have other requests in terms of the additional loan program, in addition to the grant program, and that's part of our request as well. The money has not all been distributed, although it has all been committed, and that means there's no more money. They will have more money as soon as we come to agreement, which will be soon. And I think people will be very pleased, because these small businesses must thrive in a community where again, health is essential to them opening up, and they have to open up in order to thrive. It's one thing to save them the day. It's another thing to have customers at the end of the day.
The president announced a plan this week to reopen the country, and you immediately criticized it. I want to put up what you said. The White House's vague and inconsistent document does nothing to make up for the president's failure to listen to the scientists and produce and distribute national rapid testing. But Dr. Anthony Fauci endorsed the plan. Take a look.
If these things are done correctly, what I believe they can, we will have, and there will be enough tests to allow us to take this country safely through phase one.
Don't you believe Dr. Fauci?
Yeah, well, he said if this were to be done properly, well, it hasn't been done. On March 4th, we passed our first bill, bipartisan, testing. It's over 6 weeks since then, and it hasn't been done. So he's saying if it is done properly, we're already very late on that. But he's right. It has to be testing. It has to be tracing, contact tracing. It has to be treatment, and it has to be quarantine. It's part of something bigger as well to be done properly. But we're way late on it, and that is the failure. The president gets an F, a failure on the testing. But Dr. Fauci's right. If it is done properly, it hasn't been. And that, I think, when he puts it in the if it's done, is an admission that it hasn't been done.
You, as you are right now, have been very critical of President Trump, especially for what you say is the time that he lost initially in January and February in responding to the virus. But I want to point out that on February 24th, you went on a walking tour of Chinatown to try to promote tourism there. And here's some of what you had to say.
That's what we're trying to do today, is to say everything is fine here. Come, because precautions have been taken. We think it's very safe to be in Chinatown and hope that others will come.
If the president underplayed the threat in the early days, Speaker Pelosi, didn't you as well?
No, what we're trying to do is to end the discrimination, the stigma that was going out against the Asian American community. And in fact, if you will look, the record will show that our Chinatown has been a model of containing and preventing the virus. So I'm confident in our folks there, and thought it was necessary to offset some of the things that the president and others were saying about Asian Americans and making them a target of violence across the country. In fact, some hate crimes.
Violence.
Don't you think that when you're out walking without any masks, I understand this is February, not April, when this happened, and saying that there's no threat, it's perfectly safe there, weren't you also adding to this perception that there wasn't such a threat generally?
No, I was saying that we should not discriminate against Chinese Americans, as some in our administration were doing by the way they were labeling the flu and that. No, indeed. And again, I think if you check the record, and that's current, you will see that Chinatown has been a model in all of this. And that's what we're saying. Look to them for answers. Don't look to them to place blame.
As you know, protests against the stay-at-home orders are growing across the country. People are taking to the streets, pushing back against some of the more stringent restrictions in some states. Can you understand why they're doing that?
No, not really, because what we have to do is shelter in place. That is really the answer. Testing, tracing, treatment, shelter in place. And I do think that it's unfortunate, but people will do what they do. But the fact is, we're all impatient. We all want out. But what they're doing is really unfortunate, because what is great, though, is the American people. The American people know that the good health of themselves and their families and their loved ones is what is important. And that's why you have seen such a overwhelming commitment to shelter in place and distancing, because really it is the key to how we will open up our economy. The health issue is the key to opening up the economy. Unfortunately, what you see there is, again, I'm respectful of whatever people think that they should say, but the fact is this has to be science-based, evidence-based, data-based, and the evidence and the science and the data says shelter in place, testing, contact tracing, treatment, quarantine is the answer to opening up our economy sooner. And I think, by the way, if I just may add, I do think focusing on that is a major distraction from testing. And so does it serve as a distraction? Yes, but that's not what this is about. We're supposed to be focusing on getting over this so that we can open up our economy. The sooner, the better. And I'm proud of American people, because by and large, they have embraced that.
A couple of questions I want to get in. Just this week, you called President Trump a weak person, a poor leader. Now, I understand that he goes after you, so this is fully a two-way street. But do you think those kinds of partisan attacks by, in this case, you, are constructive in the middle of a national crisis?
Well, I'll tell you why I came to that. I was very prayerful on Easter. It was one of the first days I didn't have to be working every minute, and I could reflect and be prayerful. And what I decided was that the president has made many mistakes. Okay, let's have an after-action review of that. But if he continued to put forth proposals that were not science-based, continuing his, what do you say? It's a hoax. It's magically going to go away. Okay, put that aside. But to proceed with policies which were not science-based, which are not evidence-based, and to blame others, name anybody, blame the governors, blame me, blame the World Health Organization, leaders take responsibility. So I said he's a weak leader. He doesn't take responsibility. He places blame on others. And that might have been okay for before, but we cannot continue down a path that is, again, I'll come back to science, evidence, data on how we could go forward.
Finally, and I've got about a minute left here, Speaker Pelosi, when this crisis started, you opposed the idea of Congress voting remotely, something it has never done before. But in the last week, you have said that you could support remote voting under certain circumstances. What would you accept in that regard, and why the change of mind?
Well, it wasn't a change of mind. It was I tasked our chairs of jurisdiction, Chairman Jim McGovern of the Rules Committee, Chairwoman Zoe Lofgren of the House Administration Committee, to say, what are the options we can give members? This was weeks ago. What are the options that we can give members constitutionally, security-wise, and technologically? They came back this week with saying proxy voting is probably something that passes muster on those scores in terms of just for this purpose, not for life in general, but for this purpose. And so that is, I'm taking their recommendation. It wasn't a change. My attitude was always, if it's possible, let's see what the options are. This is what they have come back and said is possible. And we'll see, it has to be bipartisan. We'll see how our colleagues on the other side of the aisle, I think there's some openness to it. You'd have to ask them, but we would want to do it in a Congress, a House-wide, not just a determination of the Democrats that that's the way we want to go forward. We want to do it in a bipartisan way, as we have done all of this. 3 bills in March, all partisan, bipartisan, not partisan at all. And as this interim package will be bipartisan, and we want to keep the faith on both sides and with the public that this is.
Okay, that's enough. I can't. It's a lot from her, but. Just a couple of your comments. Chrysler Imperial says, career politicians make me sick. Miss Pelosi is on vacation, sitting in her house, eating all that high-priced ice cream. She needs to get off camera. Just, yeah, she loves the lights. But couple of things there, she's always jabbing. It's a nonstop tit for tat, of course, between the president and Pelosi. But the thing about it is, she opens up right away, and that's the Democrat style, is to open up with the class struggle. Oh well, we had to do this for this group of people, and we're just looking out for these poor little yellow people over here. Oh, we're just looking out for those poor little dark people over there, those black people over there. It's always the vicarious racism that they keep up, that they project onto other people. But they're the ones that are talking about race all the time. She talks about it's all about testing and the science and tracing and self-quarantining and sheltering place. And, I'm just thinking, all of a sudden we're like so scientific, yet we don't have the methodologies that we're dealing with right now are not even convincing. They're not convincing the American people with what they've done so far. They're just using this crisis to point out disparities because of the crowd disease. Oh, because New York is so crowded. It's a poor representation. Going back to de Blasio, and it's a poor representation for them to basically use the crowdedness of a city to say, oh, that's why we're suffering. All our people are suffering, and they're suffering from this crowd disease and all these disparities. And we need to make everybody equal under this crowd disease. And it's a crowded city. It's a city that's stacked that people are living floor upon floor in very small places. That's what New York City has always been. It's always been a compact space, or they offer compact spaces for your lifestyle. If you can afford a little bit more, you'll be less compact. But there again, it's always the conflict theory and social perspective from them that they just jump right on it right in from the beginning, and they still got people actually believing that they actually care about them. We care about you. We care that your business was targeted because, no, I agree with from the perspective that, if he was not taking it seriously, then you weren't. No, you weren't. You invited people to come down. You did that. And it's almost like they get so agitated if somebody quotes something directly that they said, they will, well, it's not that I said this, but I meant this. But those were your words. If that's not what you said, then say, look, I didn't say that. Those weren't my words. But she automatically starts to, she contradicts herself when somebody puts her own words back at her. And I just think, it's a bit overdone. It's a bit much. So I just thought I'd remove that image from the screen. But yeah, she loves the camera because, and she's also very much a power struggling person. She thinks, to me, in her mind, she thinks she's actually in control. In fact, she's told globalists, whether it's at climate summits or whatnot, she actually refers to herself, we're still in the Paris Agreement. We're still a part of all of this UN agenda, shadow trajectory. Yeah, we're still a part of it, even though I'm not president. We're still a part of it. And I speak on behalf of the USA. She does these things all of the time. And I've never seen anybody struggling that much for power. It doesn't look good. It's more of, it doesn't make her look powerful to always project power that she doesn't have. She has power to manipulate things, yes, but she doesn't have the power that she wants. And I don't think that she's not going to get it. I really don't. So thanks so much for everybody for tuning into this segment. Shout out to Chrysler Imperial H. Thank you, mods. Shout out to Snapzilla Gorilla. Shout out to Old Head Deuce. And let's see, what else do we have? Old Head Deuce said redlining. Let's see, who else was here? Oh, Eric Chanel. Thank you guys so much for coming in. So this is I'm probably going to run this stream for about an hour, and then I'll probably come back later with something a little bit lighter for your Sunday, and lighter for your, I don't know, to be more of an evening delight for many. So how's everybody doing otherwise out there? I'm going to go ahead and do my, let's see. Probably put a tag in here in just a minute. Let's see. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. And thank you for those that did share this. I think somebody shared the stream out. I appreciate that. Yep. I thank you for sharing the stream out, and as well as if you could do the thumbs up or the thumbs down, whatever speaks to you. It's your view. So, do what you will. I appreciate that. So I also did put a link in. So in about 15 minutes, about 15 minutes, I'll probably close the stream out, and I will do a last call as well. But yes, there again, the current Congress, majority of these people are in lockstep with this whole UN agenda, or with this new, I'm going to say this new paradigm, and the paradigm itself is in progress. Is it a destination? No, it's an ongoing thing. But it's actually being done by, when you think about elites, there's a different, that's a spectrum. You have a spectrum of elites in this situation. I mean, in terms of perception, I mean, some people might consider me an elite, or I have an elitist perspective about certain things. Some people might, but certainly the citizens, the average American is not, we're not self-governing right now. This is not a self-governing paradigm that we're dealing with. And at times it makes me concerned about, going forward, a return to, when people talk about a return to the norm, I'm not sure if they know what that means, because you better believe that they're not going to just pull the lid off of this thing, not with everything that's happening or that's going on. Yeah, the leadership will change. The government is going to change. It's changing. Thank you so much for that, Chrysler Imperial. You're still here. Thank you for being here. Miss Pelosi, just power hungry. Yes, she is. And I guess that's why she's still in the actual Congress, because, I guess she's trying to put that crown, and she's trying to crown that career off with power, but she's not successful right now with that. She looks desperate, and she looks like a career politician, second rate, same narrative. Some people say same dentures. I mean, from what I hear, she's worth a lot of money, but you could, to me, you can looking from the refrigerator and the ice cream selection, you might think, yeah, she's got something going on there. But then, there's other things that you can see that, no, well, maybe it's her choice. It's just, it's her choice. It's what she's comfortable with, but it makes her look less comfortable on camera. Her presentations, her deliveries, all the slurring. She can barely get anything out most of the time. It's very painful to watch and painful to listen to. Let's see. Yes. Thank you so much for that. So I'm going to play a little bit of a last call. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining me on this segment. And let's see, we'll have a few more minutes in here. Thanks so much for coming in, guys. And I think I did put, because we've got about 14 more minutes, a little less than 14 minutes left in this stream. And I am open, so if somebody is interested in coming in, I think there's a link out there somewhere. But you're welcome to chime in on this one. And once again, if you could hit the like button. Also, on, what's today? On tomorrow, I will announce the week's new. We have 2 new playlists. And I will tell you, in the event that we repeat the playlist runs, the playlist winner, then I'll just go to your next playlist. If you happen to win more than once, and I'll go to whichever playlist that I didn't watch the first time, I'll watch your next playlist. Let's see. And shout out, I'll do a couple of shout outs also. Shout out to Chrysler Imperial H. Shout out to Snapzilla Gorilla. Shout out to Old Head Deuce. Shout out to Eric Chanot. Looks like that's what we had. Hello, Nikon Shop. Bonjour. Ami. Glad you came in. Thank you so much for coming in. We're just hanging out here a little bit. We're on our last call. Shout out to you if you guys are interested in connecting with each other. I always encourage that. Oh, wow. Thanks so much. I really appreciate that. Let's see. I really appreciate. So yeah, so don't forget about the playlist of the week program. So I'm actually going to call that a program because it is. So tomorrow I will announce the winners of this week's. I've written those down, but I will certainly save those for tomorrow. And then the next Monday, I'll announce the next set. Hope everybody's doing well on this Sunday. If there's anything you would like to share, you're welcome to hop on. I believe the link is out here, so I'll put it. We've got 10 minutes to go. I'm going to drop it right here, right now. So if you'd like to take some time to come on or just to even shout out. Also, by the way, for those of you, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to drop my previous winners. I will be dropping the previous winners links as well. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to drop the winners, last week's winners, which belong to Snapzilla Gorilla and Chrysler Imperial H. So I will be dropping those links in the stream so that you can go over and have a look at those streams and check those channels out. They're great content creators. Absolutely love Snapzilla's channel. Chrysler's channel is fantastic. Love the presentations there. Very nice. Let me see. So I've dropped. So there we have. Oops. So this is Snapzilla Gorilla's channel, and then I will be dropping, or actually Chrysler Imperial, you can drop your own link. Go ahead and drop your own link. And Snapzilla, if you're here, drop your own link. I've already dropped yours, Snapzilla, and I'm going to drop both. So you guys can feel free to drop your link, and I'll drop it as well. As a matter of fact, I will drop it again tomorrow because I mean that's a part of that's a perk for the program. I'll drop your links during the week, as well as I'll be going through your playlist. So you get your shout out, your playlist run, and you get your link dropped. And that's just a way of saying thank you for supporting the channel and for coming on. Thank you very much, and congrats to those two. And so Chrysler, I'm going to drop yours as well. Oh, no problem. It's easier to do it, Chrysler. I'm going to tell you the truth. It's easier to do it from the computer. So I'll drop yours, and I'll probably, since I didn't do it last week, I'm going to drop yours and Snapzilla's next week. I will drop it all week because I didn't get to do it. I forgot to put that into the program, but that's definitely it. You get it dropped all week, get your playlist run, and that kind of a bit there. So I'm going to drop your link right now. This is Chrysler Imperial H. So check out these channels. So yeah, so tomorrow's stream, I will drop the new winners. Like I said, if you happen to win more than once, I'm going to keep a tab of the list that I've already watched, and I'll just go to the next one. No, I didn't know that. Chrysler. I didn't know that. Thanks for telling me that. I think I've got like one too many things open, but I will fix it up right now. Appreciate that and all your hard work, Chrysler. Let's see. It's like I'm saying, for one, you know, they have these, you know, people earning their watch hours, and because of course I'm not monetized, and I cannot. It's just a reciprocating kind of a thing. It doesn't cost, you know, it doesn't cost me anything to give something back to my subscribers. And I think two playlists a week is, you know, it's just a way of saying thank you. So check out Chrysler Imperial H and Snapzilla Gorilla's channels. Great content creators. And like I said, tomorrow I will announce the winners. And I might even add, I think I might add like a third. I might do 3 lists a week, but right now it's going to be 2. Yes. Please ask a question. Nikon Shop. Anything you got? What have you got? How are you doing today, by the way? I enjoyed your stream, by the way. Yeah, Nikon Shop. He was, shout out to Nikon Shop. You guys want to check him out as well. He's a great vibe, great music on his channel, on his streams. He goes live. Chrysler goes live. Got a lot of opportunities. So check out Nikon Shop. Great live streams, great vibes, great music, great subscribers on his channel. I don't know why it's frozen. So I'm actually not. Let me see if I can move something around here. Let's see. I'm going to try to share a screen and then try to come back. So I'm going to share that and then see if I can come back in. Thank you for the feedback, Chrysler. So I'm going to try to come back in. Can you see me now? What is the app that you use to do the... Oh, it's StreamYard. StreamYard is what I'm using to do the live streams. I was doing OBS. You know, I'm finding OBS to be more of the recording device, Nikon Shop. I'm not finding it to be, you know, I think there's other broadcasts out there, and maybe I need to evolve. Maybe it's time for me to go away from OBS, because I find OBS to be pretty square. I mean, there's things you can do on there. Okay, perfect. Thank you for that, Chrysler. I just, you know, I think sometimes, you know, these things kind of get, a little bit bogged down, you know, with me doing different things. So, okay. So yeah, that put me back on the radar there. So I'll put another picture in there, save you from Pelosi there. Let's see. I'll put another picture in there. Don't worry. But yeah, so I'm going to spell out the program. It's actually, I'm going to tell you the truth. It's I'm going to tell you, the more you visit the channel, the more chances you have to get your playlist run. I think that's actually pretty fair. The more you're coming in, the more you're going to get your playlist run. If you come in every time I stream, you know, your chances are going up to get your playlist run. So yeah, I appreciate that. And then also I'm going to drop links. I'm going to drop a couple of links. One more. I'm going to drop my previous winners links again. Chrysler Imperial H, as well as Snapzilla Gorilla. So those are the two. In fact, I'm going to run theirs all week because I forgot to do it this past week, but then I'll also announce the new winners. So there'll be four streams, that I'm going to be, four pages that I'm going to be dropping, channels that I'm going to be dropping all week because of this. Snapzilla, how you doing? Uh-oh. You got some news for us. Snapzilla Gorilla says they're raiding the doctor's offices who give vitamin C injections to patients now. Oh my gosh. The ultimate tyranny. Oh my gosh, Snapzilla. That's pretty bad. Oh my gosh. This is full on. I don't know. What do you think about that, Snapzilla? I'm dropping your link, by the way. I'm going to run your link all week along with Chrysler's because that's a part of the playlist program. Not only do I run the playlist, I'll be dropping your link that whole week. The whole week because I meant to do it, but I'm just adding that. So actually, when you come in, you're welcome to drop it yourself this week coming up. Just drop it when you come in. The FBI under the Trump administration. Wow. Wow. I tell you, I really don't know this. I'm telling you guys, this I've said I'm not calling it an new world order. I'm calling it a new paradigm, and I'm also referring to the pandemic as crowd disease. So I'm creating my own little lexicon for the challenges that we're dealing with. It's exactly what I'm doing. So I'm going to drop your link. So actually, Snapzilla, drop your link. Drop it the whole week. I mean, I'll drop it, you drop it, but remember for this week, you can drop it yourself because you guys were the winners. I didn't think to do it this past week. And then so the next week, I'm going to, for the next week, it'll be whoever people I announce from on Monday, but you guys can drop yours all week. And then I'll drop the links of the two people that win this week. Oh, you're welcome. Because I've already done both. I think I've done all of yours, Snapzilla. But I'm going to redo one of them on the Geo one. I'm going to redo that one. But I did the other one as well. So yeah. So you'll actually end up getting some more time on that one because I'm going to watch that one again. Okay, so let me read your comment here. You're welcome. I need the Trump fanatics to explain why his executive branch is doing this. He is the top cop of the country. Oh, wow. Like I said, I had no idea. Like there's so much stuff that's going on. And I'm not even I used to get more updates and I'm not getting it now. I'm not getting it all. I'm having to scrap. I appreciate you for contributing, bringing news to the channel on these streams. But I did hear something else. Let me look that one up. It's real quick. I think let's see. I got a story. Let's see. I may save that one for the next. I might save that one for the next. Okay. I might save that one for the next show, but definitely. Okay. So yeah, we got, so don't forget this week, you can drop your link all week when you come in Snapzilla, and I will have dropped it. So from Sunday to Sunday, you get to drop your link, as well as Chrysler. Chrysler, you're free to drop your link all week as well. And actually, I tell you, I'm probably going to expand this program. The more you come in, I think I'll go ahead and just make that, make some of the winners, and you guys just kind of keep your links in circulation that way. So, but I'll explain that. But this week for sure, just do for the whole week, and then I'll announce 2 other winners. And then when they come in, they can drop their own. Okay, so let me just read this again. It says, what's going on? What's going to be the excuse for Trump this time? He is in control of the federal law enforcement arm of the country. I tell you, I need to do some serious research. I need to figure out what's going on with my sources, or I need to get new ones. Because I'm kind of falling down on I think I'm falling down on a lot of this stuff because I don't have what I did have. They've shadow banned, and they're ramping it up so much. Yeah, I used to get my stories. I used to get my videos and everything out a lot earlier, but I'm not getting them out because I'm not getting my information. So yeah, I'm going to be looking into that for sure. Yeah, but I'm telling you, this is a totally different paradigm. The big pharma. I think May 1st, there's going to be a protest, I think, at the Capitol in California. I think May 1st, there's one scheduled. So I don't know if anybody's going to that. But let's see, I had a story yesterday. I think a lady in San Diego was actually arrested for her role in last weekend's protest. She got arrested for that, and she said she'd probably be arrested this time as well. So, lots going on. But I tell you, with this heat, I think the heat is going to force them to. I think the heat is going to force them to. I don't know. I think it's going to make some civil unrest because it's already hot, and Ezekiel Villar. Hello, welcome in. Thank you for coming to the live stream. Buffering. Am I buffering? Is it buffering to anybody else out there? Because I'm not buffering on my end. I did freeze up, but I moved some stuff around. And Snapzilla Gorilla says Big Pharma don't like competition. And no, they don't. So but yeah. So tomorrow, that's I'll be spelling out more things from the subscriber loyalty program, the playlist of the week. So that is, that's not a YouTube program. That's my program for my loyal subscribers and those that come in for the live streams. So yeah, so thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to this segment. And I may come back later, but right now I'm not sure. But I'm thinking I may come back later with something a little bit less, something a little bit more chill. We'll try to find something. We'll have something easier. Let's see. Chrysler Imperial H says you got that right to 1,000%, Snapzilla Gorilla. So, yeah, I'm going to be looking into a lot of these things that are going on. Just, it says, like, don't look now. Something's going on. Something else is. going on. And yeah, I'm going to be honest. I don't think that the Constitution does not fit their plan, fit the paradigm. It doesn't. It's almost non-existent. There's nothing in there. They're not observing anything on a human or a natural right at all. No inalienable rights are being. They're not counting those. In many ways. So thanks so much again for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring. And I may also have some information on the community page. I'll put that on the community page about the playlist of the week program. And I will see you guys on the next segment of Black Spring with Autumn. Have a great rest of your Sunday.